Welcome to Kalamazoo Lively Arts, the show that takes you inside Kalamazoo's vibrant, creative community and explores the people who breathe life into the arts.
Support for Kalamazoo Lively Arts is provided by the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation, helping to build and enrich the cultural life of Greater Kalamazoo.
I'm John Koch here at the historic Kalamazoo State Theater. On today's show, Jan Cruzy and Shelley Irwin learn to shine with Mary Alexander. And we get a taste of the musical side of learning with Kids in Tune. But first, Shelley Irwin gets spontaneous with Crawlspace Eviction Improv.
We produce improv comedy, live improv comedy. We've produced the Kalamazoo Improv Festival the last 6 years. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun just featuring different talented people and just having a lot of fun and giving Kalamazoo a good taste of what improv is about.
All right, we're Crawlspace Eviction, and we do improv comedy, and we're from Kalamazoo, which is really fun to be an improv comedy group from Kalamazoo, because Kalamazoo sounds like a mystical land. It sounds fictional, which is fun. Because we're going to make a bunch of stuff up based on your suggestions, okay? So you are a big part of the show tonight.
Improv in the audience is, there's such a relationship with them. Because it's improv, you're relying on them for suggestions. You know, they toss things out, and then you build scenes and build things based on what they're saying or what they give you. And then you're also relying on them for your energy.
Tara, I'm ready for some improv. Let's do it.
We've got a really fun game to play. This is a game called Supercuts. And the way that we play is I'm going to set the three of you up in a scene. And anytime I come out and say cut, I need you to freeze. And I will ask a question. And whatever answer we get, the three of you are going to use in the scene. For example, what is Dan holding in his hands right now?
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf, awesome. So let's start with that. We'll say Dan has meatloaf in his hands, and Brian has the first line of the whole scene, which is just one word. What's the first word?
Iceberg.
Iceberg.
Some of the feelings early on were very different doing improv from the feelings doing improv now. There used to be a lot of anxiety, and you know, you just kind of worried about every show. And that's thankfully passed, and you know, the anxiety is pretty low with doing it now. And now it's a matter of really gauging what a particular audience is interested in, and finding where that is inside of you, because you don't want to just do something to appeal to that audience. You need to find it in you of what it is in you that is going to be appealing to them. And so finding that together with your group that's the feeling that's really great. It honestly is just a lot of joy. I guess that's the predominant feeling, is just pure joy because of the people that you're working with, because of the audience that is responding to what you're doing and enjoying it.
Iceberg! Yeah, when I finish my meatloaf, then I'll deal with the oncoming iceberg.
This is why we crashed last time, Sandy.
Oh, so what do we need to do? Do we need to cut the iceberg?
Freeze. She needs to do something very specific to the iceberg. What does she need to do?
Get the cherry picker.
Get the cherry picker, of course.
Sandy, get the cherry picker.
Sandy, have you tried this meatloaf? I'm not kidding you guys.
Here's the cherry picker.
Okay.
Right there.
I could die on that iceberg and it would be okay.
I got to admit, I do want to try the meatloaf. I know there's impending doom coming.
There's something very special about the meatloaf. It has something in it. What does the meatloaf have in it?
Asparagus.
Asparagus.
Yep. This is going to be fun. It's asparagus.
We're probably gonna die, but I've got to try this.
No, you're not going to
You
regret
want
it.
the cherry picker?
Yeah, that's...
I did die.
Yeah.
Oh, this is enormous.
What happens when they try the meatloaf? What happens?
They immediately start drooling.
Of course they do. They start drooling all over.
If the iceberg took me now, I would die a happy
I think
man.
it's going
Do you
to.
have a napkin?
Oh, of course I brought a napkin.
Okay.
Oh, yep. Oh, I'm doing it too.
Oh, Sandy, I'm so
too.
glad you invited me on this cruise.
Freeze.
This particular ensemble, we've been together probably 5 years or so. There's, people come and go, and we've had different incarnations of Crawlspace Eviction, the team. And right now, the people on the team are people that have been doing it for a while. And it's all people that are very grounded as people, as well as being very grounded in their performance.
The iceberg is getting very close. What do they hold up to stop the iceberg?
A pair of green shorts.
A pair of green shorts that Dan was wearing.
Sandy, I feel like I've really done you guys a service by feeding you some meatloaf, but now it's time to save you guys from
That iceberg!
I know. Brought it special just for the occasion. If I drape it over, pull this cord, it's a flotation device. It's going to cushion us from the iceberg.
Oh, if he had done this last time, we wouldn't have lost Billy.
I wanted a little suspense, and I didn't like Billy.
Freeze. It works. But all of a sudden, they react with some sort of strange emotion. That's odd. What emotion do they react with?
Lust.
Lust.
Well, Sandy. Oh, the saving lives
green
and
shorts.
I'm sorry, Sandy, but he is looking pretty good.
making everyone
In those
happy.
shorts.
I
With the
think so
meatloaf.
too. We'll have to fight for him.
Oh, well, I was okay.
Okay.
I know this was supposed to be our
Okay.
weekend, but
Well,
girl, it is on
we
for
are
him.
Going for that.
Plenty of me to go around
Oh
you two.
my gosh. Oh.
This is one of those kind of cruises. I'm sure you.
Where's the
I
iceberg?
will use this
that.
pickaxe.
You'll use that pickaxe?
Whoa!
Oh, be careful, the iceberg.
Sandy.
Freeze. There's one thing he's always wanted to tell Sandy, and he tells her right now. What does Brian tell her?
He doesn't like anchovies on his pizza.
Nope. Get him out of here. He doesn't like anchovies.
I've always hated anchovies.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right. Guess it's me and Sandy for eternity.
I'm lusting.
And see.
So Shelley, with this group, there's no formal script. You have to have the ability to improvise, the ability to ad-lib.
That's why it's called improv, you bet. I mean, there is some structure, there is preparation, there is rehearsal, but it does come down to who is that audience and what does that audience need? And it comes down to, I guess, working together as a team, but every night is different depending upon their mood and what their story is they want to tell.
And if you're in the audience, this may not be a show where you're just looking at the program, then looking at the stage. You're part of the show often.
Yep, oftentimes they will even bring you up on stage and have you perhaps appear as a character or appear as a, I think Disney was brought into one of the performances, so it's an audience participation. But every show is different, and I bet you would have a good time up on stage, John.
I'd be willing to try, but I think I'll just start in the back row and work my way up for that. Thank you very much, Shelley. And up next, Jan Cruzy works with Mary Alexander to turn glass to magic.
I've always been interested in different kinds of art, and when I started doing mosaics, I really loved the different colors, and I just thought glass was so cool. And every piece is different, and you can go into a store that sells glass and flip through it, and it can all be the same hues. Every one of them look different, up the swirls and all of that. So once I got started in mosaics, I just left everything else behind. I get my ideas from, of course, from nature. I mean, when I see flowers, I think, can I duplicate that in glass? I've done a few fish. I like to do different, there's a million different kinds of fish. And so when I see the color and then I see the glass, It just comes together in my brain, and I think, oh, that would look really cool on a mosaic.
If we were going to start doing something like the fish, you have already drawn, you've drawn the fish on the glass. Is that correct? Is that how you start?
Okay, the way I started with these two pieces, I take a dry erase marker.
Okay.
And I actually drew kind of a free draw of a fish. The thing about using the dry erase is when you're finished with your design, when you put your glue your glass down, you can flip it over and then just rub the drawing that you did off of the
So
picture.
when you do artwork, do you always start with this, like with a dry erase and the glass, and you draw on what you want it to look like?
I don't always draw on the picture. Sometimes I'll take, if it's a very specific picture, I would take, say, a print. Say there's a lighthouse that exactly, I want to do the exact replica of a lighthouse. I take the picture off of wherever I get it, the internet or whatever, print it out, and lay it down, and then put my glass over top of it,
Okay.
and then start to follow the pattern, whatever the pattern is.
Sure. So now we want to, you've got the drawing out, you actually have one fish done. So if I wanted to do, or we wanted to fill in the next fish, then what's the process?
Well, now I want to start working on this one. I want to make sure that the orange fins aren't going to touch these orange fins, otherwise you can't see any definition. So maybe I want to take
Now this
the
is
blue.
sharp. How many times have you been cut with something like this? This is a sharp piece of glass.
I'm cut on every piece. I've always kind of joked that my DNA is on every piece I've ever done, because try as I might, I'll find that all of a sudden I've sprung a leak. So
so this piece,
these have to be really careful.
it
It happens no matter how careful you are. You'll get poked. Nothing serious so
Right.
far. When I sell a piece, there's a little part of me that's kind of sad to let it go, because it's something that you've worked on for hours, days. Sometimes it's over the course even of weeks that, it's a slow process, and I fit it in between my job. And so when someone buys it, it makes me feel proud that it's sold and someone felt it worthy enough to take it and put it in their home. And I think about those pieces, that where they are. I have a document online that I have of the cities of where my pieces are. So it makes me feel, proud, but at the same time a little bit sad to say, oh, that piece is going away.
So we're going to take this piece of glass and put it actually on the fish. So where would I start then? Do I want to put it up here, or do I want to put it over here? Or what this reminds me of, Mary, is a puzzle. So is this a piece that goes into the puzzle, and I need to figure out where exactly this is going to go, or where this is going to fit in the puzzle, like that?
That's exactly right, Jan. I have always likened it to doing a puzzle. You look at your picture that you're doing, and then you say, you have in your head, I need a triangle shape, or I need a flowy type piece. And so you look through your glass, and if you have enough
You've cut all these pieces already. They don't come this way.
No,
Okay.
no. The glass comes in sheets, and sometimes
okay.
you'll just have a small scrap piece. This particular orange was in a sheet, maybe 5 by 7 size. And then I wanted to cut it into pieces that would resemble fins, flowing fins, like maybe, like an angelfish that we're doing. So I look at this piece and I say, okay, I need a triangle. It's not quite shaped like a triangle, so I'm going to take my tile cutters and I'm just going to kind of cut it like that. What I like to do is cut it so I know the piece is going to go straight down, so that way that it goes down into the plate and not flying across the room. When I see glass, if I'm in a store or I'm at a sale somewhere where I found glass, I often will see something that, boy, that looks like water. Often I will see in the glass what could become of it. But a lot of times, if I see a piece that's just beautiful, sometimes I'll just buy it. They'll take glass and they'll swirl maybe 3 or 4 colors in it, and it'll just be something I just can't resist, and I'll think, I'll find a use for that. I'll put it on a sailboat sail or something like that. So I just, a lot of times I just see it and just think the color's beautiful and I want to buy it. Okay, this particular piece goes on the top of a table, a patio table. And the idea I wanted was as if you were looking down into a pond and you were looking at the koi fish and the water lilies. And so once the piece was finished, pouring that glaze on just gave that watery look.
And you wanted it to be like a pond because this is the pond's edge, correct?
Exactly. I used pebbles and the sand-colored grout to provide that look of being on the edge of a pond.
Okay, this is really rough, Mary, and this is really smooth. So tell me what the differences are between, you're going to put something else onto this to make it smooth like this?
This particular piece has glaze on it, and it's the equivalent, it's a glaze that you buy at a home improvement store. It's the equivalent of 60 coats of polyurethane with one pouring of the liquid. So this piece is already done and it's nice and smooth. This piece I will do a table or a stool that I want that smooth finish on. I will go ahead and put that on, and so this will be as smooth as this one.
Right, because this is a little rough right now. Not a lot, but
Exactly.
just it's not as smooth as that.
Correct. For me, mosaic art is my art. Yeah, I enjoy that people are drawn to it and they want to buy it. That's a nice perk. But I just love the creative process, and I love working with the colors and the challenge of the art, and it's just limitless what you could do with it.
Now, Jan, Mary Alexander, where does she get all her glass?
I thought it was really interesting. You'd think that these artists would get their glass from an art supplier or an art dealer, but she gets her glass from a variety of sources. Old churches that are getting rid of stained glass windows, garage sales where there's a variety of china, old dishes. You know, it's interesting that where all the glass comes from.
Yeah, all over the place. And where does she come up with her inspiration for her work?
As you saw in the piece, there's a lot of different things that she does with the glass. Old bowling balls make great gazing balls for the garden. She had an old duck decoy that she covered in glass. She did a wall hanging that I really liked, but unfortunately it was sold out of an old window pane where she put different scenes from the garden in the glass. So it's the beauty of what she does is that it's so diverse and so different that anything that you have that you would want to put mosaic glass on, she would be able to do it. So it's fascinating.
Very interesting and very creative. Thank you very much. For our third segment, Shelley visits emerging artists at Kids in Tune.
Kalamazoo Kids in Tune is a very exciting partnership between Kalamazoo Symphony Orchestra, communities in schools of Kalamazoo, and the Kalamazoo Public Schools. And the program is designed to surround a group of students with a community of musical support, in short. And we like to call it an orchestra immersion program. So we bring our students together, we have them start playing instruments, and then they come together in an ensemble to learn how to play those instruments together to make music that is really exciting.
Well, there's no doubt that there's a connection between music and success in school, and particularly success in math. And what we have been able to show through our outside evaluator is that students who attend after-school program have better attendance during the school day than their like peers. And we know if kids are in school, they're learning. And so attendance and support and connection to an after-school program that has them excited and wanting to be at school makes a difference.
Okay, take it away. Make me a drummer.
Will do. My name is Paul Bauer, and I'm the percussion instructor here with Kids in Tune, based in Kalamazoo. And with us today is Akila, and she's going to demonstrate how to play this enormous part of our show. This is the biggest highlight at the very end of the show, and it's the crowning moment where everything comes together, and it's the apex of the entire show. So this is when the bells will toll for the Great Gate of Kiev. So will you demonstrate how it goes, Akila, for Shelley? And then she'll try it after you. Yep, so just at the end where it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, your big part at the end.
Because reading music's important with
it is
all
important,
this, right?
so
yeah.
take it from I.
Take it from I. Here
from
we
both
go.
spots.
Teach me how.
So I'll give you the count in. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Bigger, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Bigger on that gong. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now 1, 2, freeze. Nice. That was great. No, you
That
did
was a
wonderful.
good
You did
job.
We were so excited when we were exploring the concept of this program to learn about communities in schools. Our mission for Kalamazoo Kids in Tune was to really surround students with a community of musical support, to bring that opportunity to the students in their school building. And we found communities in schools, and their mission is to do exactly that, to bring the community in to the school building to surround students with the support they need to have great experiences and to succeed in school and life, to really address the whole student and not just to teach music, but to make sure all the other supports are there to help our children succeed. So it was a very natural partnership.
We are funded through a 21st Century Community Learning Center grant. That's a 5-year grant that provides after-school programming so that we can provide the structure and the personnel support, so that we have a site coordinator that provides the management for our after-school programming and youth development workers who support the students, and transportation for the students as well. So that 21st Century funding is what really allows us to have the core infrastructure to provide an after-school program, and then the Kalamazoo Symphony Orchestra's wonderful staffing and resources that they're able to bring provide the musical component.
Oh,
Wonderful,
now
right up
I
here.
have to learn.
Now she has to learn. You think Shelley can do it?
Okay, hold it like this, right? Should I get over here? Okay.
All right, Shelley, so
Where do
you
I
said
hit
you
it?
have some
Yeah.
music background,
Yep,
right?
yep, yep.
So can you show her where to hit it?
Okay.
And then where does she strike the gong? On the side? Right in the middle,
Center?
right? Perfect.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's the bell of the great gate, so we want it to be nice and big. This is the big part of the show.
Here we go.
So I'll count you in too, Shelley. Are you ready?
Okay.
She's going to count along for you.
Okay.
And you're reading 2 parts, so Akila's reading 2 different pieces of music here at the same time.
Multi-talented.
Exactly.
Okay, just tell me when to hit it.
1, so it's on count 1 for the bass drum, and then count 3
Gotcha.
for the gong.
For the gong.
1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. Nice. 1, 2. You can give us some more.
More?
Yeah, there you go. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Nice.
How do we do?
How do you think she did?
High five. Nice job. Thank you for that
Shelley.
instruction.
Very welcome, Shelley. Thanks for having us on.
All right.
Of course, you know, the smiles on their faces let us know they're having fun. The excitement that they have when they're getting ready to perform, the confidence that they have when they get off the bus and go over to their music stands at a performance venue in downtown Kalamazoo, and they're just proud to be there and ready to perform. And on a statistical basis, we have a very high retention rate at Kalamazoo Kids in Tune. Of about 95% of our students return year after year.
One of the important aspects of this program for us is to increase access to music instruction. And so for many of our students, it wouldn't necessarily be an opportunity to take private lessons in the community or do other things. And I think we've looked beyond something like financial challenges, which we understand is the case for many families, but there's also transportation, and there's also work schedules and things that make it difficult for parents to get their kids to all those different opportunities. We felt that if we brought the opportunity into the school building, that way we could reach a lot more students, and that way we could really open up access to this great opportunity. And it makes a lot of sense to kind of extend the school day where the children already are. So we bring our resources in around the students rather than asking our students and families to come to us. And we feel like that's a big part of the access model that's making this program successful, and that's helping us take this opportunity to new areas of the community.
So that's where we did it from before, Shelley.
Letter I, you say? Letter I.
I'll help you out too.
1, 2, letter I. Bravo!
Well done.
Thank you, madam.
Nicely done.
Thank
Nicely
you.
done.
Bye. Ooh.
Shelley, how focused are these kids?
Well, you have to be focused to be learning instruments, to be in that type of atmosphere. But you can tell they're having fun too, and I think that's part of this. Is you need to be focused, but the sense of having a good time is all part of the learning, and it's evident with this opportunity.
And we understand it's not just a summer program; it goes year-round.
Year-round, it's important. Obviously, summer is important to keep us learning all year round, but after-school programs are very important. They also incorporate the music into the daily school life, and they bring the parents in, and they talk about their day, they talk about their music, and that is all part of the great education that's offered as well, in addition to the music.
Keeping the kids busy and productive, always a good thing. Thank you, Shelley. And thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Kalamazoo Lively Arts. Tune in next week as we visit Potter Kathy Green, the Glass Arts Center, and the McKersher Gallery. From the Kalamazoo State Theater, I'm John Koch. Have a good night.
Support for Kalamazoo Lively Arts is provided by the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation, helping to build and enrich the cultural life of Greater Kalamazoo.